What if your birth date isn't random? What if it holds the secret to your karma? The pain you keep repeating, the patterns you can't escape, they were all written the moment you arrived. It's time to decode the message and change your path forever. Your birth date is not a coincidence. It is not something random assigned by chance or fate without reason. In the Shaolin tradition, we are taught to observe not only what is visible, but also what is hidden beneath the surface. What appears to be ordinary often carries deeper truth, and so it is with your birth date. The day you entered this world is a marker. It holds meaning. It contains within it the energetic blueprint of your path, your challenges, the karmic patterns that you are here to transform. You see, everything in this life operates according to rhythm. The universe itself moves through cycles, patterns of expansion and contraction, creation and dissolution. This rhythm is not chaotic, it is intelligent, it is precise, and you are part of it. Just as a tree blooms in spring and sheds in autumn, your arrival on this earth was in harmony with a larger unfolding. Your birth date is the key to understanding the type of energy you brought into this lifetime, the kind of life you were meant to live, and the lessons you came here to embody. From the first breath you took, the position of the sun, the pull of the moon, the alignment of the planets, and the subtle energies of the earth all combine to shape the context of your life. You did not arrive here accidentally. You did not show up on this earth with empty hands. You came equipped with memory. You came with impressions carried deep within your subconscious. Impressions from lifetimes before this one. Experiences you do not consciously remember, but which silently influence your fears, your desires, your emotional reactions, and your recurring situations. This is why two people born on the same day in different places may still share remarkable similarities and yet express them uniquely, because karma is precise but not fixed. Your birth date is not a prison, it is a map. And a map is only useful if you learn how to read it. It is not meant to dictate your fate, but to guide your attention to certain areas of life where your soul is ready to grow. This is why paying attention to your patterns is essential. You may feel drawn to certain behaviors. You may struggle with the same emotional challenges over and over again. This is not coincidence, it is karma reminding you that this is where your work lies. Many people live without awareness of this. They move through life unaware of why certain things happen. They think life is happening to them, not realizing that life is happening through them and for them. The energies you carry are alive. They are trying to teach you something, and the first lesson is to stop and look deeply at your own nature, your temperament, your strengths, and especially your recurring struggles. This awareness is the beginning of self-mastery. When you start observing your thoughts, your tendencies, and your reactions as patterns rather than personal flaws, something begins to shift. You stop blaming external circumstances and begin taking ownership of your inner state. You realize that your birth date is a clue pointing to your karmic homework. And once you accept this, not with judgment but with curiosity and discipline, you begin the true spiritual path. This is the foundation of all practice, whether martial or meditative. It is to become still enough that you can see yourself clearly, not through the lens of ego, not through the lens of what society tells you, but through the quiet observation of your own mind. When we train at the Shaolin Temple, we are not just training the body, we are learning to discipline the mind so that it no longer reacts blindly, but responds with awareness. The same applies to your karma. You cannot outrun it, you cannot bypass it, but you can outgrow it by understanding its message. Perhaps you were born on a day that reflects the energy of restlessness and desire. This means your path may involve learning patience and contentment. Maybe you were born under an energy of silence and solitude. This could indicate a life of inner wisdom and teaching, but only if you accept the solitude and turn it into strength. Whatever the energy is, it is not good or bad, it simply is. Your work is to bring it into balance. And when you do this, your karma becomes your dharma, your inner burden becomes your outer purpose. Your birth date then becomes more than just a number. It becomes a living reminder that you are here with intention, and that every challenge you face is not an accident, but an invitation to wake up and begin aligning your actions with the deeper rhythm of life. This is not easy. It requires effort, it requires discipline, it requires the courage to look at yourself without filters, but the reward is freedom, the reward is clarity, the reward is peace. Not the peace that comes from avoiding life, but the peace that comes from understanding it and rising above the noise. So ask yourself this: what is your birth date trying to show you? Where in your life are you being asked to grow? Where are you repeating the same cycles hoping for different results? What lessons keep knocking on your door? This is your karma. And your birth date is where it started, but not where it has to end. Your journey is not fixed. Your fate is not sealed. Your past may influence you, but your present choices define you. The moment you choose awareness over reaction, presence over distraction, stillness over noise, you begin to walk the path of mastery, and that is the path your birth date was pointing to all along. Your birth date is not a limit, it is a signal, and if you listen, it will guide you exactly where you need to go. Walk the path with eyes open, and the way reveals itself. Karma is not a punishment, it is a mirror, a reflection of your inner state of being. Everything that happens around you, everything that unfolds in your external world is simply revealing what is happening inside of you. Most people live their entire lives reacting to karma without ever understanding it. They see pain and call it unfair. They face setbacks and call it misfortune. But in reality, life is not unfair. Life is precise. The universe is not blind, it is deeply intelligent. Karma is its feedback system. From the moment you are born, the choices you make, the thoughts you nurture, and the emotions you carry all leave an imprint, and this imprint shapes the direction of your life, not through magic or mystery, but through vibration. What you carry within becomes what you experience outside, not because you are cursed or blessed, but because the universe reflects what you are ready to see and transform. If you carry anger, you will meet situations that provoke your anger. If you carry fear, you will attract the very things that test your courage. And if you carry unresolved pain, life will send you mirrors that reflect that pain. So you finally learn to heal it. This is why your karma is not something to fear. It is not a chain that binds you. It is a compass that guides you. The karmic patterns you encounter in your life are simply messages. Messages designed to show you what still lives within you that must be seen, accepted, and elevated. And the moment you stop seeing karma as a punishment, you will begin to see its true nature as a teacher, one that never gives up on you, one that never abandons you, one that keeps returning until you finally learn the lesson and grow. You may wonder why certain people seem to suffer more than others. You may ask why someone born on the same date as you walks a different path. But this is the subtlety of karma. It is not a straight line. It is not a comparison. It is tailored to the soul's unique evolution. Some souls are carrying heavier lessons because they have the strength to endure them, and some are given gentler paths because that is what they need at this stage. But everyone receives exactly what they need to grow, and awakening begins when you stop resisting what shows up and start using it as fuel for your transformation. When we train in the Shaolin Temple, we are not spared from pain. We are not exempt from difficulty. In fact, we embrace it because pain is not the enemy. Unconsciousness is to face your karma, is to face yourself, to look into the mirror that life places in front of you, and instead of turning away, You hold your gaze steady. You observe what it reveals. Without flinching, without judging, you become still enough to see the truth behind every experience, every conflict, every repeated cycle. And you ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What in me is being asked to rise? And the answer does not always come in words. Sometimes it comes through silence, through suffering, through persistence. The lesson is not found by running from discomfort, but by stepping into it with presence and awareness. This is the way of the warrior, not the one who fights the world, but the one who conquers himself. Because once you understand your karma, you are no longer a victim of it. You become the sculptor shaping your life with intention. If your karma brings you loneliness, it may be asking you to develop inner connection. If it brings you betrayal, it may be showing you where you betray yourself. If it brings you constant struggle, it may be demanding your discipline. And if it brings you heartbreak, it may be opening the door to love that is not based on fear but on truth. The karma is not the enemy. The refusal to see it is the real suffering. Many people try to escape their karma. They distract themselves, they run toward pleasure, they bury themselves in noise, but karma waits patiently. It does not forget because it is not there to hurt you. It is there to liberate you by showing you exactly where your soul is stuck and exactly what must be faced with courage and clarity. And once you begin to face it, something powerful happens. Your life begins to shift. Not because the karma disappears, but because your relationship to it changes. You stop asking why me and begin asking what now. You stop seeing yourself as cursed and begin understanding yourself as chosen. Chosen to walk through fire so you may rise stronger. Chosen to break cycles that your ancestors could not. Chosen to bring light where there has been darkness for generations. And that is not a punishment, that is an honor. Your birth date may give you clues about the nature of your karma, but it is your awareness that determines how you move through it. Because two people can be born under the same sky and walk two completely different paths. One chooses growth, the other chooses denial. One chooses responsibility, the other chooses blame. The one who grows is not the one with less karma, but the one who has learned to use it as a tool for awakening. This is the true meaning of self-mastery, not to avoid your karma, but to meet it head-on, to stop seeing yourself as a victim of fate and start seeing yourself as a co-creator of your reality. Every time you react unconsciously, you repeat the pattern. Every time you respond with awareness, you begin to shift it. And the more awareness you bring, the more your karma becomes your teacher, your ally, your path toward freedom. We are not here to live lives of avoidance. We are not here to pretend we are free when we are still bound. Freedom comes not by escaping karma, but by completing it, by walking through it with your head held high and your heart open. This requires practice, this requires patience, this requires courage, but most of all, it requires truth, the willingness to see yourself exactly as you are, and to choose better again and again and again. So if life has been hard, if your journey has felt heavy, understand this is not a sign you are failing. It is a sign you are ready to see what others are afraid to see, ready to rise where others fall, ready to use karma not as a curse, but as a call to return to your highest self, to align your thoughts with truth, your words with integrity, and your actions with discipline. Because once you do, karma no longer controls you. You become the one who responds with clarity, who acts with wisdom, who moves through life with calm strength. And this is how karma dissolves, not through force, but through awareness, not through denial, but through mastery, not by escaping the mirror, but by facing it. Until there is nothing left to fear, walk with awareness, and the mirror will show you the way. There is a rhythm that governs all things, a silent code moving beneath the surface of what we see. Do your thoughts, your choices, your habits. They are not isolated moments. They are part of that rhythm, constantly shaping the quality of your life. Karma is not only about what you did in a past life or what happened years ago. It is active right now, unfolding in every decision you make, every reaction you repeat, every word you speak. Without awareness, most people live as if they are separate from this rhythm. They fight against it, question it, ignore it, and then wonder why life feels difficult, chaotic, empty. But life is not chaos, it is a reflection. It gives you back what you put into it, and the mechanism that makes this possible is karma. When you choose to live unconsciously, when you act without presence, when your mind is filled with fear, resentment, jealousy, comparison, the energy you release into the world carries a certain weight and vibration, and what you receive in return is of the same nature. This is not superstition, it is simple cause and rectify the quality of your inner world, writes the script for your outer experience. When we train at the temple, we are taught that every movement carries energy, that every breath holds meaning, that discipline is not about rules, it is about alignment. Because when you live in alignment with the laws of energy, with the laws of karma, your life becomes smooth, it becomes peaceful, it flows like a river with clear direction. But when you go against this alignment, you suffer, not because life is cruel, but because life is trying to bring you back into harmony. This is why karma is not random, it is not a wheel spinning out of control. It is a system of perfect balance. It brings to you exactly what you need to evolve. It places in your path exactly the experiences that will wake you up, challenge you, test you, and remind you of what truly matters. And those who understand this, who stop blaming the outside and begin refining the inside, they begin to walk a different path, a quieter, stronger, clearer path. But to walk that path, you must become aware of the choices you make every single day. Your karma is being created not by some distant past, but by your present moment awareness. When you judge others, you feed the energy of judgment. When you react in anger, you multiply the energy of suffering. When you speak lies, you invite confusion into your life. And the more you repeat these unconscious habits, the deeper the pattern becomes. Like walking the same trail in a forest, again and again, until it becomes the only path you know. But you are not trapped, you are not bound, you are simply conditioned. And what is conditioned can be reconditioned. What is learned can be unlearned. What is created through choice can also be changed through choice. The moment you stop reacting and begin responding with presence, you shift the rhythm of your karma. Instead of repeating the same cycle, you create a new pattern, one built on stillness, truth, intention, and discipline. This is not an easy path, because the mind resists change. It clings to the familiar, even if the familiar is pain. This is why most people remain stuck in loops, not because they are weak, but because they are unaware. They don't realize they have the power to choose again and again. With every thought, with every breath, they can begin rewriting their karmic story, not through force, not through guilt, but through deep awareness and commitment. You may be carrying karma from your childhood, your family, your past decisions, your ancestral line. It does not matter where it comes from. What matters is how you carry it now, how you hold it, how you meet it. Do you carry it with resentment, or do you carry it with respect? Do you let it define you, or do you use it to refine you? This choice is yours, and it is the most important choice you will ever make, because it is the beginning of your freedom. When we train, we do not ask for ease, we ask for clarity, because when you are clear, you can move through difficulty without resistance. When you understand that your karma is not here to hurt you, but to awaken you, everything changes. Suddenly, your struggles are no longer setbacks, they are invitations. Your pain is no longer punishment, it is purification. Your delays are no longer denials, they are preparation. And every moment becomes an opportunity to rise higher, to live with greater awareness and deeper integrity. To transform your karma, you must begin with the smallest things. How you wake up in the morning, how you speak to those around you, how you treat your body, how you use your time. Every action is a seed, and every seed grows into something real. You cannot plant anger and expect peace. You cannot plant laziness and expect mastery. You cannot plant doubt and expect clarity. You must become aware of the seeds you are planting, because your life is the harvest. If you truly want to change your life, you must first change the energy you put into it. This requires discipline, this requires honesty, this requires a commitment to living consciously, even when it is uncomfortable, especially when it is uncomfortable, because that discomfort is your karma showing you where you have more work to do. And the more you face it with courage, the lighter it becomes. And one day you realize you are no longer reacting to life, you are creating it. You are no longer being pulled by patterns, you are walking with purpose. And that is the essence of freedom. Karma is not just something that happens to you. It is something you participate in. You are not outside of it. You are inside of it. And the more you bring your awareness into the present moment, the more power you gain to shift its direction. This is the real training. Not just the body, not just the breath, but the mind and heart, brought into alignment with truth. Walk the path, not to escape karma, but to master it. And you will find that what once felt heavy becomes your greatest teacher. Your birth date is more than a number, more than a coincidence, more than a celebration. It is a moment of alignment, a signal of the energy you entered this world with. The position of the stars, the phase of the moon, the vibration of the earth, they all shape the energetic imprint you carry. And this imprint is what many traditions call your karmic signature. It does not define your future, it does not lock you in a box, but it does reveal certain tendencies, patterns, challenges and strengths that your soul has chosen to navigate in this lifetime, not by accident, but with purpose. To understand your karmic signature is to understand the deeper blueprint of your life. It is the silent code beneath your habits, the invisible force behind your preferences, your struggles, your gifts. It is why some people are drawn to solitude while others seek connection. It is why some are born with a natural strength while others seem to carry a heavier burden. These are not flaws, these are clues. They are messages written into your being, meant to guide you back to alignment, back to balance, back to truth. When we observe nature, we see that everything moves with rhythm, with precision. The seasons do not argue, the tides do not resist. And in the same way, your birth was not random. It was a movement within the larger rhythm of the universe. And from that moment, you began to walk your path, carrying the energy of that moment with you. And the more aware you become of this, the more you can work with it instead of against it. Because the signature you carry is not a judgment. Like any map, it only becomes useful when you learn how to read it. Some people feel lost in life not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they are disconnected from this map. They are trying to live someone else's path. They are chasing what others told them to chase and wondering why it feels empty. But the truth is, you cannot borrow another person's destiny and expect to feel fulfilled. You cannot copy their timing, their values, their karmic lessons and expect peace, because your path is your own. It is designed with precision, and the sooner you embrace it, the sooner you find flow. This is why the Shaolin path emphasizes stillness. It is not about escaping life, it is about returning to yourself in silence. You begin to feel the rhythm of your own energy. You begin to sense what is right for you, not what is popular, not what is praised, but what resonates with your soul. And when you follow that resonance, life begins to move differently. Doors open, people appear, Lessons make sense and karma no longer feels like punishment but preparation. Your birth date may indicate certain strengths, certain karmic debts, certain life themes. Maybe you carry the energy of healing, and your life is filled with situations that require you to heal yourself and others. Maybe you carry the energy of truth, and your life challenges you to speak honestly even when it's uncomfortable. Maybe you carry the energy of discipline, and your karma constantly asks you to master your impulses. Stay committed to your path, whatever the theme. It is not here to limit you, it is here to refine you. To refine something means to remove the unnecessary to bring out the essence. And that is what karma does. It strips away the illusions, the ego, the distractions, until only your true self remains. This process is not always easy. It is not always gentle, but it is always precise. The same way a sword must be forged in fire, the soul must be tested in life. And your karmic signature tells you what kind of fire will shape you, what kind of challenges will wake you, what kind of practice will align you. This is why self-awareness is the highest form of power, not control over others, but clarity within yourself. Because once you see clearly the patterns of your own life, you stop being confused by them, you stop being afraid of them, you stop being reactive, and you start becoming intentional with your words, with your focus, with your relationships, with your time, because you know that everything you give energy to either strengthens your karma or dissolves it. When we train in the temple, we do not ask who is better, we ask who is more aligned. Because the one who is aligned moves with power, without force, speaks with weight, without shouting, lives with presence, without effort. And this power comes from knowing yourself, from understanding your nature, your karmic tendencies, your energetic truth, and working with it, not trying to be something you are not, but embodying what you are, completely, without shame, without apology, with full awareness. If your karmic signature points to discipline, then discipline will bring you peace. If your karmic signature points to surrender, then trying to control everything will only bring suffering. If your karmic signature points to service, then selfishness will always feel empty. This is not about restriction, it is about liberation, because when you live in alignment with your true nature, you no longer need to chase anything. Peace finds you. Joy finds you strength. Finds you because you are standing exactly where you were meant to stand. And this is what most people miss. They try to force their lives into shapes that were never meant for them. They ignore their inner calling, they resist their own path, and then wonder why life feels like struggle. But the struggle is not the problem. The resistance is because your karmic path is not about ease, it is about alignment. And when you are aligned, even difficulty becomes purposeful, even pain becomes purifying, and every moment becomes a part of your awakening. So you must ask yourself, what does my life keep showing me? What themes keep returning? What emotions keep repeating? What lessons keep unfolding? These are not accidents, they are invitations. They are signs from your karma guiding you back to center, and the more you resist them, the louder they become. But the moment you start listening, the moment you honor them, everything begins to shift. Your karmic signature is not fixed, it is evolving. It grows as you grow. It changes as you change. And every conscious choice you make, every disciplined action, every act of truth, every step into awareness begins to refine that signature, begins to raise its frequency, and over time, what once felt heavy begins to feel light. What once felt confusing begins to feel clear, because you are no longer living blindly, you are walking with vision, with precision, with purpose. So do not fear your karma, do not fight your path, do not compare your journey. Instead, observe your life. Understand the signature you carry, honor the rhythm you were born into, and walk your path with presence and discipline. Because when you live this way, you do not just follow your karma, you transcend it. And in that transcendence, you find the real meaning of freedom, the kind that no one can give you and no one can take away. Walk your path with awareness, and the path will rise to meet you.